What's going on, y'all? Mr.CompBookC here, back with another, guess you can call this another midnight sesh. Usually I would do this in my backyard, but I'm a little bit farther than I would like to be, but, I'm here. But, I'm just chilling at this point. Right now I'm just kind of dealing with, real life stuff and dealing with all assortments of stuff, but I'm gonna be honest. I thought maybe right now I'm just not in the right headspace to be making anything at the moment, but at the same time I'm just kind of like, oh well, I got nothing else better to do, so it's kind of like, why not, but at the same time I kind of feel like if there's really any point sometimes whenever I'm making videos, but at the same time I should just be like, well, I'm doing it because I like to, not because I'm trying to get anything out of it. And I don't know, I'm just so self-conscious. I'm very self-conscious about a lot of things, about my life, about in general, and I end up attacking myself for no reason. Sometimes I kind of see this as kind of like a weird diary for the whole fucking world to see. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I don't know. I think this is probably the only thing I can really just put forward and be like, okay, let me see what I can do with it. But I don't want to over exaggerate and first world problems type of thing, when there's so many other people going through worse shit. But I'm getting the hang of editing and whatnot a lot more better than what I used to. There is still some stuff that I'm kind of still learning and whatnot. Editing and whatnot for thumbnails and stuff. I enjoy editing thumbnails compared to editing a video. I think it's a lot more fun doing the thumbnails. But I'm hoping to potentially do collaborations. I say that in air quotes, but it's just kind of people that I know that are also wanting to do YouTube and stuff like that, and just to kind of do stuff amongst each other and kind of promote each other. But as far as that, I think I'm doing okay. As much as I would tell myself that I'm doing all right. But I don't know. I guess I can talk a little bit from not to speak too much, but I guess a little bit on my personal life where, the whole topic of getting a job or finding a job is and a job that is willing to actually pay you a decent amount, not something that's just barely above minimum wage. But man, it's definitely difficult, I can tell you that much, because either they just don't respond, or they lowball, or just a bunch of other bullshit. And a lot of times I feel like I'm always hitting a brick wall, or when I need something to work out, it just never works out in the end. And I'm a firm believer that anything can happen, but it's a lot of times I feel like the odds are kind of stacked against me, but I feel like there might be an opportunity out there that I just don't see it right now, but maybe later on I'll be able to find it. But at the same time, I'm still trying to figure out myself and figure out what do I want from my own life, and it's weird to say because there's so many different perspectives of what you should do in your life, and yet no one has a concrete answer of which one you should pick. I think it's just really all up to interpretation. But I find myself a lot questioning my antics, my beliefs, questioning the things that I do, to question the fact if it's even worth it or not, you know? But at the same time, it's like you just kind of have to wing it in some aspect. Some people have everything very calculated and processed, and they get the things that they need and whatnot, but then there's the people that try to, and they don't succeed. And I don't think they really talk about that much, like people who really try and really go for what they want to go for, but it just doesn't end up working out. Even when everything is all aligned, it's just still not there. But I think all it really matters is your sense of hope, your sense of belief, if anything. If anything, the best word to describe it is like faith. I think that's probably the best thing to say. It's faith. Because it's weird, because a lot of people in different age, definitely in different age groups, they see life in such a different lens, or they interpret things completely different. Like maybe right now I'm questioning the things that I want from my life, but maybe 4 years ago I would tell you, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and that. But I don't know. It's very scary. A lot of times you end up, or I guess for myself, you just end up swallowing up on your entire self-conscious, and you're just whole. Like, I'm not even trying to sound deep or anything, but it's just like you end up questioning yourself or second guessing all the damn time. Then at that point, nothing's gonna end up getting done. And I just figured that if I just go and do it and see what happens, then I don't really have another way of being like, oh, well, what if I done this, or what have I done that, you know? But in terms of content creating and whatnot, I want to start making maybe short, not necessarily shorts, because, you know, there's the whole segment of YouTube where there's shorts and stuff like that. But maybe just maybe comedy stuff or whatever. Just, I don't know, just to see what I can pull out and see what works. But I don't know, there's a lot of interpretation, there's a lot of aspects, there's a lot of angles I can go for, but I think I have to be able to mix with everything that I'm dealing with in my real life, and be able to put that into whatever I can put into the channel, or whatever videos that I make and whatnot. The commentary stuff is it's not necessarily hard to make at all. It's not hard at all. It's just very tedious sometimes. If you already know what you're doing, then you should have no problem. But especially for someone who's not as, I wouldn't even say tech savvy, but it's I'm very, very new to editing software and a bunch of other stuff that I've yet to really get into, because I'm just kind of if anything, I'm just going for it and winging it, and just doing the stuff that I already know. But I guess for the midnight sesh, I kind of look at it as well, let me lay out my thoughts of whatever I have at the moment, because God forbid I just keep this conjured up and just left inside with nothing else to bear, or to open that key for me to be able to express myself. I guess that's the perfect way to put it. I guess the midnight sesh is just a way for myself to express, or to express myself. I should have just said like that. Goddamn. But this was originally going to be a collab, quote unquote, but I think one of my friends, he's kind of busy, so I guess I just gotta have to do this solo. It's 10 o'clock right now. I left the house, it was around like 9. Right now it's 10:13, and I can see the somewhat of a view of where I live and my city. Probably you guys can hear nearby cars and stuff like that, and whatever. I'm over exaggerating. Not over exaggerating, I'm over explaining. But I think another good purpose for this is, in case some people may feel lost and may feel the same fucking way, they can take this and be like, oh, well, shit, there's someone else doing this shit right now, and, you know, they're still trying to figure it out, and maybe I'm not too late. Maybe I can still fix things. But I don't know, man. There's so many aspects that I've yet to really think about, and I don't think they really train that, especially when you're in school. Like, your only aspect of what you have, and I've even thought about this even before I went out of school, like the aspect of the things that they teach you and the things that you learn it's not very applicable to real life. Like, you don't really know how to, at least for myself, like, I took specific classes for me to be able to learn how to, like, write a check or, like, to potentially apply for a job or to get a resume, but a good majority of them were, like, electives and stuff like that. I think the only classes that I really took seriously was, like, financial algebra and jobs class. Those were the only 2 classes, and psychology because I was really interested in it, and maybe history. But it really dumbs down of the actual reality of what real life does put out there, because it's a lot more difficult than it really seems. And if there's people that don't really have that problem and they're doing well, I mean, good for you, you know? There's a good percentage of other people, including myself, I guess I'm not the majority, that are currently going through that. And, I don't know. I don't really have any, I wouldn't necessarily say aspirations, but it's like, it kind of sucks that, like, there was a lot of other stuff that I went out of my way to go to and go for, and there's a part of me that was like, maybe I didn't really put too much effort into it, and maybe if I focused on it 100% and, like, really be dedicated, and I'm speaking in a this goes for anything, for whatever you're doing in life, but I don't know. But all I could really do is just be, I guess, more kinder to myself. I'm not the greatest at doing that sometimes. I'm always very negative. I'm very self-destructive in nature sometimes, and it ends up biting me in the ass a lot of times, where I just don't want to deal with the problem and I just want to escape it, but a lot of times you just need to face it. And I don't know, I'm rambling, I'm going off on a tangent, but I hope maybe you guys are doing okay. Hopefully things are going well. And if they're not, then it will be alright. I mentioned this in the previous one, where a lot of times you'll find sequences of moments where there's a lot of bad shit going on in your life, and you just end up questioning, like, out of all the fucking people, why is it me going through all this? And there's really no answer to it. A lot of people like to put up, like, oh, well, the mistakes make you for who you are, and I kind of think it's a little bullshit, because I definitely seen a lot of people that go through in life without making a lot of mistakes, and they're completely fine. I think it's just to make, and maybe you can say the same thing for myself, it's just another way to make people feel better. But I mean, if you look at it this kind of sounds cynical, not gonna lie, but that's just kind of how I see it, because if I'm looking at it in a realistic angle and I know that this could potentially be the outcome, then I feel a lot more better about it. But I guess another thing I could talk about is the somewhat recent support that I'm seeing, but I'm gonna see what I can do to shake things up. Maybe make something funny and, you know, make something cool. I just need to put some time into it, you know. Maybe get some other people involved, but 15 minutes, god damn. And this is the first take too. I swear to God, I deadass was just gonna be like, fuck this, I'm gonna do it again. But I'm glad I was able to do it in one take. I hope y'all are doing well. And there's a guy in a fucking scooter riding down the hill. This man's having the time of his life. I need to be the guy on the scooter hill. Huh? But as I was saying, I hope y'all are doing well, and if you're not, it will be. You just gotta leave time for it. But